Exactly.
All right, so let's go ahead and begin. How did you how did your wrestling career got started?
Um, Growing up, I've been watching it since I was 3 years old. I've been in love with wrestling. Uh, and growing up, I found out that you could actually get paid for it, but it wasn't the money for me. The fact that I could actually get in the ring and fight with people that I don't know and actually try and hurt them, the idea of that. I love the feeling of that. I love to be able to punch a person in the face or do give them bodily harm.
Hey, that's if you if it happens outside the wrestling ring, chances are you're gonna be arrested. So, this is the only way you can do. Go out there, compete, beat someone up, and get paid. I mean, and love the sport. So that's all good and dandy, I suppose. Um, so do you remember the first wrestling match you ever had? And if so, who was your opponent? And what company did you work for at the time?
I would have to say my first wrestling match, the first match that I had, that I can say that I was an actual wrestler and not just someone getting in the ring because they learned how to take a couple of bumps. I'm talking about the match that I honestly just say that made me a wrestler. It was against Pandora, and I was wrestling for Platinum Championship Wrestling in Atlanta.
And after the wrestling match that you had, how did you feel about it, knowing that it was your first match and you're in front of an audience, you're competing, and Pandora's a very established wrestler herself. I mean, how did you feel about your first match overall?
Honestly, I was, and not to get too explicit, but kind of aroused by it. The fact that even though I had lost, for the fact that I stepped toe to toe with this person, this strong female who's been doing it longer than me, and the fact that I actually went toe to toe with her, and actually caused her some pain and fought back with everything that I had. And even though I lost, it was like, okay, this is it. This is what I simply bring it on, bring everything I got to the table to anybody I go against. And that was a moment for me. That was when I was like, okay, this is it. I'm not looking back. I'm not stopping. I'm not pausing for anybody. I'm just going to wrestle and do what it is I know I can do probably better than anybody.
How would you best describe your wrestling style? You consider yourself a brawler, technically style, submissions. How would you best describe your wrestling style?
Definitely a brawler. I mean, the thing about me, I'm not a small female, but I'm not a rather large female. But I come from a very large family. I can say that. I had a lot of brothers, a lot of sisters, and we brawled. We fought, because that's what siblings do. But the fact that I can say I call myself a brawler because I have big, massive arms. I'd say arms is big for a girl, like python-sized arms, and I know my forearms are a force to be reckoned with. And I'm a brawler. I like to pick people up. I like to slam them down. I like to have them in the corner. I like to basically beat beat them up, or beat whatever it is they're trying to give me, beat it out of them until they can't give nothing else.
So, do you have any upcoming wrestling shows, events you'd like to promote?
Oh, yes, I'm going to be down in Jasper, Alabama this Saturday for the women's title. Next Friday as well, I'm going to be down in, I can't, uh, I'm going to be down in Alabama again. I can't remember the city, but at the top of my head. But I'm going to be down in Alabama for Pro Wrestling Alabama. And on the 23rd, I'm going to be in Havelock, North Carolina, for the SWE women's title against Fantasia. That's something I'm really looking forward to.
All right, so that's definitely going to be an interesting one. Fantasia, a legendary wrestler as well. That should definitely be a Smash Mouth one as well. Um, what do you consider as the highlight of your wrestling career thus far? It could be a match, it could be a championship, it could be a storyline or angle. What do you consider as the highlight of your wrestling career?
Um, right now, I would have to say my feud with Pandora. I can honestly, because of the build-up, because of how I was starting out as a wrestler, I haven't been doing it that long, because of all the matches, the previous matches that we had, and because of the hell that I took from her countless times, over and over and over and over, the the bloodshed, the cuts, the bruises, the hit-ins with the chair, everything. My battle with her has been my most memorable highlight of my wrestling career.
What do you like the most of being a professional wrestler? Is it the fan interaction? Is it traveling? Is it hanging out with your fellow colleagues in the locker room? Uh, what do you like the most of being a professional wrestler?
I guess I could say the pain. I know it may sound crazy because it is crazy. I like the fact that the people that see me, they see, oh, this is a female. Yeah, she can probably step toe to toe with the guys, but let's see how she really holds up. And I go in the ring and I step in the ring with a guy, and he doesn't treat me like I'm some Barbie female. He treats me like I'm as equal as him, and he tries to prove that I'm not as equal as him. But the fact that I can actually stand toe to him and to other females as well, that I can beat them up, and that I myself can get beat up. The pain of it, the rush, the feel, that's what I love most about wrestling. It's the fans. Don't get me wrong. I do love the fans. I do. And I love traveling on the road, and I love hanging out. But what I love the most about wrestling is how to take the pain and how to give it back.
Uh, Interesting answer, and I definitely can understand that. Uh, Pain is definitely something that any athlete has to deal with. You know, wrestlers, football players, basketball players. I mean, especially those, or mostly football and wrestlers that have to take a lot of contact and take a lot of hits. And it's something that you're gonna have to deal with, and it's survival of the fittest. Let's just put it that way. And if you can't take the pain, this profession is not for any. It's not for everybody. If you take the pain,
Exactly.
if you take the pain and you last longer, and then more power to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So, how can people out there get in touch with you social media wise? Why don't you go ahead and promote your Facebook and your Twitter?
Yes, my Facebook is Dementia the Rose, and my Twitter is deranged underscore flower, at deranged underscore flower. That's my Twitter account. And I have my email as well. And if bookers are interested, I would send them my number or in my contact information. Yeah, I'm definitely on Facebook and Twitter.
So, with this year, we're getting, to a month and a half into the new year in 2013. You got some upcoming shows, and like every other wrestlers, you have goals. You want something you want to accomplish. What are some goals that you would like to accomplish this year going forward?
Um, Richard Rose doesn't really care about the win. I mean, I like the win. I like the fact that I'm able to beat someone bad so bad that they can't even get up. I enjoy that. But the fact that I can actually hurt people, not just really hurt them, but try and hurt them as bad as possible, that's my goal. That's what I want in 2013. Like, even if I have to hurt myself, even if I have to jump off the top rope, even if I have to spear you through the ring, whatever I have to do to hurt you, I will do it. And I will do it harder and harder and bring more and more, because I want you to know that once you step in the ring with me, Dementia Rose, this girl doesn't give a crap about herself. Her main focus, whether she wins or not, is for you to get carried out outside that ring.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Um, Over the last several days, I'm sure you've heard the news by now that that the IOC, the Olympic Committee, has decided to remove wrestling from the Olympics after 2016. Now, we all know wrestling's been around since 1896. It's one of the original sports, and I've talked to a couple of people about this topic, and I just want to get your take on how you feel about the IOC's decision to remove wrestling from the Olympics after 2016.
The only thing I'm going to say is the Olympics is about sports and who's the best in sports. Wrestling is a sport. Leave it there.
Oh, I definitely agree, and I mean, it's one thing to remove wrestling, but keep sports like curling and badminton. I mean, those are recreation sports. I mean, I want to see sweat. I want to see competition. I want to see people do whatever it takes to, in wrestling, you get that. Badminton, I mean, I, 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 I can't take it seriously. I mean, wrestling is an original sport. It's been around since the very beginning, and it's very unfortunate that they decided to remove wrestling from the Olympics. But
Yeah.
that's just how I feel about it. So, what would your advice be to anyone out there that wants to pursue their career as a professional wrestler? What would your advice be?
Well, I would say don't go half-assed into anything. If this is what you want, you have to not only look the part, you have to act the part, you have to be the part. If you're saying, okay, I'm a professional wrestler, I've only been training for 3 or 4 months, and I'm not talking about people that know how to take a bump. I'm talking about wrestlers that actually know how to get in the ring and go. Because this is what my trainer has been teaching me. Anybody can take a bump. Anybody can learn how to do a bump. But if you can actually get in that ring and go and have the fans either hating you or loving you, then you're doing whatever you're doing it right. You are a professional wrestler. So to whoever is out there and say, okay, I want to pursue this career in wrestling, don't go half-ass in it. Go 100% or nothing.
And my last question to you is there any wrestlers out there that you haven't had a chance to work with but would like to be in the ring with someday?
Oh, yes, definitely. Like, I would like the fact that I'm actually going to be in wrestling against Fantasia. I see that as a tremendous opportunity and challenge because she's bigger than me, she's taller than me, and I face a lot of females that are smaller than me. But this right here, this is going to be a big challenge for me. But uh, I see every female, whether I've wrestled them 1,000 times or whether I've never wrestled them, it's always like whenever I step in the ring, I always want it to be this is the match that I want people to talk about. Like, I'm never satisfied with my match, and if anybody wants to step in the ring with me, I'll be more than happy, more than happy to get in the ring with a male or female. But yeah, there are definitely some females I would definitely like to have a match or two with.
Well, before I let you go, I want to thank you for joining me on the show. Thank you for being on this day. Best of success goes out to you, causing as much pain as possible towards your opponents. And again, thank you for being on this show.
Always a pleasure.
You have a good night.
You do. Sleep tight and don't let the bed bugs paralyze.